this here is a OnePlus. It's a OnePlus 6. This is the best phone you can get for the money. The speed you need. Now, they market this phone as, their slogan is, the speed you need. The 6 is a phone, but the price starting at $529. That's about half of what would you pay for like a comparable iPhone X or iPhone 10. Besides, a bit of a substandard camera performance. Even two of these cameras here. The camera performance is not as good as like S9 Plus or Google Pixel 2 XL. But besides all that, the phone is amazing. Handles very well. The screen is crisp, bright and accurate. Not just me, but everybody finds this phone to be of a great value for the money. Perhaps the best bang for the buck. Or best bang for the money, right? Best bang for the buck. Now, this phone is the first one for OnePlus to be made entirely of glass, and it just feels really nice. OnePlus will be coming out with different color variations after launch. And this is a phone that packs a serious punch with an octa-core Snapdragon 845 processor. The new 10 nanometer architecture with up to 2.8 gigahertz clock speed. You know, all that translates into increased power, reduced power consumption, and gigabytes upon gigabytes of RAM. Basic model comes in at 6 gigabytes of RAM, and for a small fee you can upgrade to 8. You know, 8 is a double of Google Pixel memory. You know, this alone should translate to a better performance. I mean, look at this, it just unlocks like instantly. For example, all that memory you can store God knows how many programs in memory, run games really fast. Now for storage you can go up to 256 gigabytes, but there's no way to expand beyond that as there's no slot, no memory card slot. Now you can breeze through apps with little to no load times, or shift quickly between gaming, working and browsing. Oxygen OS, as they call it, is a proprietary OnePlus modification to the Android OS to make the phone even faster. And I think we're all familiar with the decay of phone performance over time. Hopefully OnePlus 6 doesn't do that, or shouldn't do that, as they claim. Oxygen OS only renders what's on the screen to save processing power, otherwise wasted on background tasks, invisible menus and all that, you know, should speed up the load times, make everything perform really well. The 6 also offers super fast charging via USB-C port. They claim half-day's charge in half an hour. I mean, that really sounds good. Does it always work? I find myself with, for example, Google Pixel. Battery charging performance supposedly is affected by the temperature or whatnot. Sometimes charges slow, sometimes charges really fast. Okay. Now they do say that it can charge fast even when using the phone. I actually found all this to be true, okay? Now it is 2018 and a display on this phone has to have a notch. But it is pleasantly executed and just shows the right amount of notifications, optimized with minimal bezels. The display resolution is 2280 by 1080. So it's a bit more than Full HD. Obviously not as sharp as other high resolution phones, but it is accurate, bright and pleasure to look at, and I didn't really miss any extra resolution offered by more expensive phones. There are 5 display modes to tailor screen to your liking, you know, with sRGB and DCI-P3 color calibrations, and it even has a night mode, you know. But the night mode, you get rid of the blue light so you can fall asleep easier. Okay? You know, it would be nice if it had a higher resolution, but I'd rather take much brighter screen so I can use it in daylight and in, you know, high, very bright situations than a super high resolution, which only kind of notice when you look for it. You know, it just all depends how close you hold the phone to your eyes as well. You know, at the arm's length, you don't really gain anything having higher resolution than 1080p. Now it also has innovative gesture controls. You know, it makes it easy to navigate the device, to use gestures instead of using on-screen buttons, okay? You can switch between apps, cameras, you know, things like this. Now for me, that's still something I need to master, but if you really like gestures, you know, at least this phone offers that, okay? Now the cameras, that's probably the biggest drawback of this OnePlus phone, okay? At least in my opinion, alright? So, even though it offers dual cameras of 16 and 20 megapixels on the back here, they're both at the same focal length, and you know, one's optically stabilized to compensate for jitters and shake, and obviously that's what you want, right? The other one's 20 megapixels and it does some magic to bring up the photo quality. Now I did find this phone lacking in fine detail, even at low ISO. At high ISO it actually does surprisingly well. High ISO, I mean low light, okay? Now for video, this shoots an amazing 60 frames per second in 4K. And when you lower the resolution to 720p, for example, it can shoot even 480 frames. We gotta show an example of that in the next video. Alright, portrait modes are available in front or back. Front? Is this front? Okay, front or back cameras, right? They said the front one will have the portrait mode later. Okay, now this you know, applies the professional looking blur effect to the background. They call it the bokeh. I really like the Pro mode, where you can adjust shooting parameters very fast and with accurate previews of the results. Now for the design, you know, there's glass and more glass. This is the Corning Gorilla Glass 5. You know, that's the exterior shell of this phone it's built with, right? It makes it for a extremely resilient and a scratch-resistant body. Smoothly rounded corners and gently curved glass with quite large screen, you know, to screen to body size ratio. You know, the alert slider, that's this thing here. You know, it's still there, so you can toggle between silent, vibrate, and ring modes. Now, for the battery, features you know, kind of average, I would say. 330 milliamp battery. You know, it should last you all day with good usage, and also with dash charging, like they say, charge for half an hour for half day's charge. So what I found actually is the combination of this battery, I guess, and the efficient CPU. Pretty much use your phone a lot during the day with no need to recharge, as long as you have it charged overnight, okay? So it's just like really efficient, and it just, yeah, I mean, it just makes you want to grab this phone all the time without thinking about battery issues, okay? Now, weather protection. You know, there's some protection against splashes and rain. You know, should be good for occasional kind of walk in the park, but no water submersion. So it is kind of waterproof. You know, that's why there's like no official IP rating, okay? Now a little downside here, the speakers. I'm not a fan of bottom-facing speaker. You know, I really enjoy my Google Pixel 2 XL front-facing dual speakers. So OnePlus obviously gets a minus here, but it's quite loud, but it can easily be covered with fingers, and it's very directional. It has kind of a tiny voice, at least as compared to not voice, sound, compared to kind of Google Pixel. That's my current phone. Overall, this feels like a quality phone, and it's made out of quality materials, so it should. I would definitely consider this phone. Except, you know, biggest issue was just with the photos missing the fine details as compared to Google Pixel or Samsung Galaxy S9. Otherwise, you know, you can save $100, hundreds of dollars actually, over, you know, S9 or Google Pixel 2 XL. Get a higher performing CPU with more memory. So, you know, you kind of have to really judge what's important for you. Okay. Another drawback, but maybe not so much, is there's really no expandable storage options and no wireless charging. you know, even though it has a glass back. But obviously that's, I think, a compromise between price and performance. Alright, and maybe even a bigger issue, you cannot use it with Verizon or Sprint, as it only works on GSM networks. I haven't heard if they'll offer a CDMA network version, okay? Now, to summarize. This phone offers great value for the money and is better than any other phone at the same price, and I highly recommend it, okay? Quality feel, great battery performance, and if you're not a pixel peeker, this is the best phone you can get for the money.